that, like it's not necessarily a loan you took, but it's somebody else's loan, and then you are a guarantor to that, then you would add that information here, and then you just add it up here. Again, life insurance. Sometimes people do have life insurance. If you have life insurance, just add the information that's as of you here. And then I would suggest that if you don't know some of this information, just contact your insurance agent, and they will be able to tell you um, the information that you may not have. And then it says the marketable security. So if you own any kind of stocks, um, to be honest, like a lot of times people may own multiple different stocks. Like I would only focus on adding things that is of significant value. Like if it's something where it's just, I don't know, $100 or something, like a very small amount, I would not really worry about that. Here, the important thing is having like larger values. Sometimes people just invest in like an index fund, and they have everything invested through an index fund, so it's easier for them to know like this information because they don't have like multiple stocks that they own directly. So in that case, um, you know, it's easier for you. But again, you can contact your financial advisor or somebody that you work with for this, and they will be able to help you get that information. Uh, Non-marketable securities. So essentially, those that means any kind of business interest, maybe where it's not publicly traded. Um, that falls in like a more complex situation, financial situation, where if you have any kind of like interest in any kind of instrument that operates as a stock or adjacent, then you would add that here. And again, if you have anything like this, you know if you have a financial advisor, they can help you as well with that information. Again, the same for accounts and notes receivable. Just make sure that you have clarity on if you have any kind of like um, any notes, any kind of like thing that you have um, lend money to someone or something like that. Like you just want to make sure that you add that here. Like if you have made a personal loan to someone, for example. Then real estate for personal use. Typically, people have a primary and then a secondary home sometimes, but most of the time it's just a primary home. So just add the information that's asked of you here. Um, the mortgage information, you can just contact the institution that has your mortgage, and they will be able to provide you with the information we're asking for. And then investments in real estate, the same is for that. Just make sure you have um, the information that's asked of you here. And you want to make sure to include that because obviously anything that has a significant value, you want to make sure it's included. Because the higher your net worth, you know, the more security you are showing or providing to the lender. And that's important. Ownership in privately owned businesses. Typically people have one business, maybe two. In some cases, people have multiple businesses. In this case, we want to know the businesses with the largest valuation values. Um, you know, a lot of times people don't really have like a formal valuation of a business. So I would try to make sure you're, you know, not making up numbers up. So if you need help with that, you can consult with an accountant or somebody who can help you get that information. Last but not least, if you have any kind of credit card, loan, anything like that, again, we want to see the largest values being listed here. Now, you might not have space to add everything up in this here, so I usually tell people if you run out of space because you have more than the amount of spaces available here, just on a separate document like a Google Doc or a Word doc, you can just add the remaining amount. Um, that you may want to list. But again, just focus on the larger values. Down here, it's asking if you have any kind of like what sources of income you have. So salary, or income from your business. If you make any bonuses or commissions from any kind of licensing or deal that you may have, that may be licensing your intellectual property. A lot of times that could be the case if you own, um, you know, if you like people who, for example, write books and publish them, they make like royalty or commission like businesses. So that's an example. So again, just add that information that you may have here. The more information you have, the better. And then you add your total income here. And then if you have a will or not, then you would want to make sure you list that here. To be honest, a lot of people don't even add anything like that because they just don't have it or they don't disclose it. So it's up to you. But again, the more information, the better. The more information we have, the better. And then just add the information about if you have an employer. Sometimes people obviously do their businesses full time. So you're your own employer. Your business is your employer in this case. So just add the information of your business here. Um, and then yeah, just make sure you sign the information. um, Again, all of this here is just to help us understand kind of like your personal financial situation. So the more you tell us, the easier it is for us to determine in what capacity we would be able to help. We just don't want people to give obviously false information or anything like that. You want to be as honest as possible. um, and then also, for example, here it talks about if you're in any kind of lawsuit, legal action, like we need to know that because we will try to find any information we can about you that's available on a both credit and a legal setting. So we would like to know if there's anything like that, and the more honest you are, the better. Um, so yeah, once you finish all of that information, just make sure to sign it and date it, and send that to us because that will help us determine where you're at. And yeah, if you have any questions, obviously after watching these videos, let me know. I'm happy to help. But I hope this is useful to you. Thank you.